sorry we can't come to the podcast right now, but we're on holidays somewhere fabulous, probably.
Yeah, it's probably.
We're not. We're probably having a staycation at home. But the point is, it's not a main episode. It's a quickie episode because Tom and I are taking a well-deserved break after 4 years of non-stop podcasting.
You've joined us on a quickie-sode, a sort of overspill episodes of the main show, the main podcast, because there's just questions abound. They never stop.
Yep.
Stories, they keep rolling in.
Yep.
We need somewhere to put them.
And this is where it is. It's right here. Into your ear holes from our mouth holes. No, I don't.
That's the sexiest thing ever said on this podcast.
That's why I need a holiday. Now, that was really funny, and now I have to bum you out.
Very good.
I have 2 questions today, but I need you to pick which one's first. One of them is sad, and one of them is angry making.
Oh, sad first, please.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. This is a question that I found on Reddit, and it made me sad and angry, actually.
It's all right. I'll split the difference with a helpful advice one.
Okay, great.
So
great.
It will be nice.
How do you know, Tom, when enough is enough? My grandfather is in hospice care. I grew up with an alcoholic father who was mostly absent while remaining married to my mother. My grandpa is the best male role model I have had in my life. He showed up time and time again for me. He supported my mum and my grandma and my aunts through thick and thin, and now he is dying. My husband and I got married in December, and today is our 4-year anniversary of dating. I spent the afternoon with my grandpa and then came home and sobbed on the couch. We ordered dinner, and my husband made a comment about how low-key this anniversary was. And I said, well, I'm sorry, my grandpa is dying. And he said, yeah, just a little faster than before. I don't know if I can move past this. My grandpa means the world to me, and he just said that so coldly. I said, what? And he said, well, we're all dying. I might have put a bit more attitude on that line, but it's still shitty. This is one of the hardest periods of my life, and he has to make a stupid comment. How do you know when something is truly not forgivable? When is enough enough?
Bit difficult to gauge when you're in the middle of the storm, right? When you're being buffeted by the emotions of someone dear to you passing away, and a lazy joke or a lazy line gets thrown at you, and you don't know where exactly to land. I kind of interpret this as either like a lazy thing to say, or a poor attempt at brevity or lightheartedness, or trying to move you forward, or the pair of you forward,
or even.
But also,
it's
very very poor, very uncensored.
I do think I agree with you when you say lazy. Like, I don't, like, maybe he's not even trying to move you forward. Maybe he was just like an offhand kind of comment. But my biggest bit of advice in this situation is please don't make any significant life decisions about anything while you're going through grief and trauma.
Yeah, that's
right.
Little is what.
Like, if he continues to act like a dickhead through this entire process, and then he's in hospice care, so when your grandfather finally does pass, and then you grieve and your mind is clearer and you look back at the situation and go, actually, you were a dipshit. I think that's when that's time to call. But I don't think, I think you forgive him a couple of little indiscretions because your emotions are incredibly heightened. I mean verbal indiscretions, not actual indiscretions. Mm-hmm. Thank you so much. Don't make any decisions until you are not actively grieving.
You are hurting, so there's an instinct to lash out or to want to maybe hurt someone else. I'm feeling pain, so therefore.
Can you imagine that? Like, you're doubling your pain.
Yeah,
you know, and plus you're just not rational when someone's dying. It's genuinely, if it's somebody important in your life, it is the worst thing that can happen to a person in their life is to have the person that they love most in the world pass on.
Absolutely.
So please don't make any important decisions during this time.
It's also difficult for us to exactly read the exact mood in the room that was happening when he said. He very well may have been, like, you very well could have seen his true colors in that moment. And this could be like very
Put it
well
in your
could have been.
pocket for evidence when you're not sobbing on the couch at night. Do you know what I mean?
Maybe journal it, maybe write it down, get
Yes.
those emotions out,
Yes.
get them down on a piece of paper in front
Love
of you.
a good journal.
And then sort of so it gets out of your brain a little bit, and then you can come back to it on a later date. Bit sad. Thank you, Elizabeth.
Tell us about
I'll
it.
whiplash from my private life to help a dear reader. Any advice, Elizabeth, for combating nervousness, being nervous for a first date? How do you go about it?
Thomas, you're talking to someone who has chronic anxiety.
Yes,
what do you
me-
mean
me-
combating nervousness?
Me too, and it isn't part of our responsibility to ourselves to figure out ways to combat this.
I think we had a guest on a couple of times, but very early on in our podcast, Tilly, who sort of saw first dates as a bit of a hobby, right? And I think the advice that she had was very good at the time. She was like, just treat them as a hobby and as something to do. Don't put I think where a lot of people get nervous on first dates is when they put the weight of the what ifs after the date. So they're like, what if this guy might be the one? What if this girl might be,
sure.
What if I mess up? What if I don't mess up? And you're kind of running to the finish line before you've even joined the race, right?
Yes.
And so I think if you kind of think of a first date as just a fun thing to do that's not got expectations for the future, like it's it's like having brunch with a new friend, or and again, at worst you get more for the plot, like you get the good stories that we love to tell on these podcasts. But I think hearing other people's stories about going on first dates has kind of made me go, you know what, I put so much importance on a first date and sometimes it's not actually that important.
No, absolutely. You are spot on. My little bit of advice to anyone that suffers from anxiety is it's kind of easy to trick your brain to reframe anxiety or nervousness, as excitement.
I've heard that.
Our brains are so fucking malleable. They're so kind of easily moldable that you can go, I'm not nervous I'm excited to meet someone else. I'm excited to try this new cafe. I'm excited to actually get out of my house once in a while and do something new. So you can just reframe it a little bit, and it's not going to help. Like, it's not going to fix the whole fucking problem.
No, but the feeling in the chest, right? The feeling in the chest, the difference I find between excitement and nervousness, I was trying to explain this to someone the other day, is the openness of my chest, right? So if I am nervous about something, I have the flutters in the chest, and then I realize that my shoulders are hunched over and my chest is kind of a little bit not caved in, but kind of like, but then I find that I can reframe it as excitement by just pulling my shoulders back and opening my chest up, and then somehow the flutters go from compression to excitement. Like, it's not that easy, right? But it's a small posture thing that helps me kind of gaslight myself into thinking that my nervous energy is...
You can do that. You can
just open the chest up.
You can trick your big dumb brain into sort of thinking about it differently.
Gaslighting yourself is fine, right?
Yes, a self-gaslight. And another one, like a physical thing you can do, it's a performing trick I do when I'm about to go on stage. I try and push down a building, right? Try and push down, like put palms on the wall and try and push that building down.
So you're pushing the energy out of your body a bit. And it just gets rid
of a little bit of that extra tingly nerves that goes around your body, right? So you get a bit of that tension, that sort of flighty, nervous energy out. Just try and push down the building.
I love that one.
Little tip.
There's the Bluey one. Do you watch Bluey?
I've seen snippets.
So there's an episode called Stickbird that I love, and I unashamedly sobbed at the end of, but they were talking about how to get rid of like sadness or worry or anger or whatever. And so Bluey's just sitting there going, you just gather it all up. And they're like, well, how do you gather it? You just go to wherever it is and you grab it, Bluey says, and you grab it and you pull it all in and you roll it into a ball and then you throw it away as far as you can. And then right at the end of the episode, when there's no kids around, the dad just starts gathering up his little worry and then throws it into the ocean. But like that's another thing that my shrink actually told me to do. She's like, imagine that your stress is like your it's like a bit of paper and you just have to grab it and compress it all into what you visualize as a physical ball and then visualize physically throwing it away. And sometimes that can trick you into actually feeling better.
Yeah, big dumb brain. Trick that.
Big dumb meatball
dumb
into
brain.
feeling like you're okay.
There you go. So there's some nice advice dished out to the readers, Elizabeth, and you want to make us.
I'm going to make you angry again.
We're going to get angry. All
I'm
right, different hat on, people. Put your angry hat on.
And here's the thing.
Liz
I
came
was
in wearing
complaining
hers.
about this off mic, except it's a completely different scenario, but it's the same anger for the same
all right.
reasons. All right. So
I
you know
can-
exactly what's
I'll
coming,
reconnect to that.
Tom. Okay. So I, 38 female, I'm getting burnt out, and my boyfriend asks how he can help me, but it just makes me overwhelmed or angry. We've been together for 5 years, lived together for 3. We live it says DINK lifestyle, which is double income, no kids.
Yes.
And split majority of the bills 50-50. I cover groceries and household needs, but it's never something that's bothered me. What is bothering me is I feel like I'm taking care of a toddler. I work all day, I come home, I do a load of washing, I take out the trash, I feed our pets, I run any errands that need to be done, I make dinner, and usually end the day watching a show that he has on before bed. We are not going on dates. We are not being intimate. He claims that I'm not being fun anymore. You're not fun anymore. I'm so fucking mad already because I don't have the energy to joke around like we used to because you're doing nothing. Anyway, I've told him time and time again that I need dates. I need effort to be made. And yet, unless I'm telling him exactly what to do or planning the dates myself, it doesn't happen. He uses work as the usual excuse, but guess what? I work too.
Yeah.
Then he says he's not a mind reader and he needs me to tell him what to do. But it's at the point where I feel like I shouldn't have to say, please don't throw your fucking socks on the floor or please take the rubbish out. Am I being unfair? Please help.
No, not unfair. Not at all. You want to? Okay, she's
No.
Liz is ready.
I
Liz
would
is ready.
no. I'm holding my anger because I actually would like to hear what you would want to say because I know what I'm about to rip on.
It's poor. It's laziness. It's the problem, and a problem is the longer into a relationship that this kind of thing goes on, and then you bring it up after 5 years. It can present as like sudden nagging or suddenly change. Like, oh, we've been together for 5 years, and now you're. So the longer you let it, the longer you let it cook, the sort of more unreasonable it can present. But however, your dear reader is not in the wrong. Effort is required on both parts. Communication has been attempted by her. It's all poor. It's all lazy.
So, on the one hand, right, I do understand that certain people go, well, I'm not a mind reader. And that's true. We're not mind readers and we should communicate, right? But there is this thing, and I am sure probably 90% of our readers will be aware of it, called the emotional or mental load, right?
Yeah, sure.
And that is when you might split chores evenly, but who is the one who is doing the splitting and telling you what you need to do and making sure that everything's tallied up and making sure that all the groceries are done? Basically, if you ask someone, well, I would help you if you just told me what to do, you're actually giving them an additional lot of work.
You're very
right?
correct. Yep.
And typically, I hate those words, but actually, statistically, thank you so much. I have done reading on this. The mental load normally falls to the woman in the relationship because that is the way that society, that's left over from a time when women stayed home and men went to work, right?
Sure.
So the woman would run the household. But unfortunately, because he lives the way it is, everyone has to work now. Mm-hmm. But what you need to realize is that if you say, I don't know what to do unless you tell me, how does this person know what to do either? Like, you're both grown adults. I once had a boyfriend who I realised 5 years into our relationship, he had never changed the sheets on our bed. Not once.
That's ridiculous.
And
that's patently ridiculous.
Yep. And I said to him, hello, I have just realised that you have never changed the sheets on the bed, nor have you ever cleaned the bathroom. And he's like, well, I just don't know when it needs doing.
Like, it's embarrassing.
And I said, excuse me, but what the fuck do you, do you think there's a fucking laundry fairy that comes and sits down on my shoulder and says, Liz, 'tis time? Like, you just pick a time and do it, you know? Like, we're both the same age. We're both living out of home for the first time. We're both figuring out how to adult together. So why do you think I know how to do all these things, and why is it on me to tell you what I need to do?
No, you're right, and I'm not. It's easier for me to sit down in front of a microphone and be like, "Yeah, do you sort your fucking life out?" I have my faults and foibles. I'm sure of it. But I respect myself enough to clean up, to cook dinner for my partner. Like, you're going through life without accruing basic life skills, right?
Yeah.
You don't know how to do a load of washing, and you're in your, like, fine if you're a teenager, maybe, but if you're into your 20s, you don't know how to, like, cook a meal. You don't know. It's just, you're embarrassing yourself in my eyes, right?
Yeah.
Like, these are kind of basic things to get right.
I just kind of think, you know,
And it is unfair. It is unfair for one person to have the full mental load.
Another term I'm going to bandy about here is weaponized incompetence.
Yes,
and I think some people do this deliberately, right? Some people are genuinely clueless, right? But some people just go, oh, you do it so much better than I do, or I don't know how to do this, so that they won't have to do that. And that pisses me off as well.
It's not an excuse. It's
but
not good.
I just think if you are sitting there, no matter what gender you are, at home going, well, I'm not going to do that because my partner hasn't told me to do it and I don't know how they like it done. Just go, well, how do they magically know what you like done? And they think about it. They think about it, you know, like it's not, you know, it's, I can't think of the words because I'm so angry, but it's one of those things where it's like, if you reversed the roles and if they said to you, I can't give you a nice birthday because I don't know what you want, how would you feel about that, you know?
Exactly right. And it's not even an excuse in the modern age. If you genuinely don't know how to clean the oven, go online. Like, it's all online. Literally everything. Learn how to cook a meal, it's online. Learn how to clean this, it's online. Like, there's tutorials, there's
how do single people do these things?
Yeah, that's right.
You know what? We do it. The other day, I broke my car mirror and went, what have I done? My rearview mirror is now dangling. How do I do this? Because it's where my window sensor is. And I didn't go, oh, I don't know how to do it. Help me, Daddy. I went, and by Daddy, I mean my actual father, not a partner that I call Daddy. I didn't go, oh, no, I have no man to fix this, so I'm not going to do it. I went on YouTube. I looked up the part number. I put it together. I got a screwdriver. I reattached it and saved myself probably a whole bunch of money. But the point is, nobody knows how to live. Nobody knows what to do as an adult.
No,
we're all guessing. And if you think that just because you live with someone, they somehow know how to do more stuff than you, so you let them, you're just being a fucking idiot. Zane?
Yeah, you're being a mooch.
I 100% agree with everything that you've said. I just wanted to kind of add in that some of that, if it's not weaponized incompetence, if it is someone who's just kind of like, well, this is just how it's always been. This is how it's gone. Like, if you have told your partner that this needs to happen, do it. Or like, I can't cope with this anymore. Or you're complaining about what is happening in the relationship. This is what needs to change. And then he doesn't change, then it's on him.
Yep.
If he does something and you criticize it, then it's a bit more of a back and forth, because then there's a fear of rejection that is so prevalent in men. So they stop, they do nothing instead of getting shamed for doing a bad job.
Perfect thing to bring up, because this is another thing that I have said to most adults in my life. If somebody does you a favor, you do not get to choose the manner in which they do that favor. So if they fold a load of washing and you come in and go, you didn't fold it properly, or you didn't put it back properly, they're never going to do that again. They have done it, thank them, move on. Because not everybody has the same level of tidiness or cleanliness or analness when it comes to folding things. So if somebody is actually going out and getting groceries and then they come home and you go, you forgot the blah, then they're never going to want to do it. There's got to be that balance.
I can cop to this a little bit. We all have our blind spots, so you can look at your partner or your friend or whoever, your mother around the house. It depends. This behavior isn't confined to a romantic relationship. You can pick them apart for the way they fold the laundry, as Liz said, but you will have blind spots in your life where you're not doing things up to standard.
But
so it's
also,
easy
who says that your way is the best way?
Yes, yep.
You know,
exactly
there's no
right.
law in this world that says that your way is the best way. So it's got to be this balance. It's this delicate fucking household ballet of communication, of making sure you appreciate people for the things that they do, and making sure that you don't constantly ask someone to dictate the way you live your life. You need to show initiative.
Yeah, your partner should
and
be...
you also need to not criticize the way that someone does something if they do show initiative. End of story. We are brilliant.
If you're like, some people find it really, really easy to criticize their partner or be really heavy with
I
their
know
partner,
people have been so beaten into submission that they're just like, I can't do this anymore.
but then won't have the same standards with literally anyone else on the planet. Like, this is the person that's meant to be closest and nearest and dearest to you. Like, that like, help them, hold them up, make them, cherish them, help them. Yes.
I could talk about this for hours, but we're not going to because this is a quickie. So
your voice is going hoarse over there.
I have at least 3 female friends who are going through hell at the moment because their partners are being less than useless. And I also have one male friend whose wife is a complete fucking sociopath, and I'm just so mad at all of them right now that I just let it out on this one question that somebody has written.
You've jumped all over it. That's fine.
But look, I'm mad. Everybody, just show a little bit of initiative, and we're all grown-ups and we all hate being grown-ups, right? It sucks. We hate doing washing. No one likes it. No one likes doing dishes, but just like, be an adult about it and help other people. Just help other people. Just help other people. That's all I'm going to finish it. Just help. Help.
La la la